Alright, I'll get started. Any stragglers, turn up, turn up. Okay. Excuse my messes. Alright, so my name is Dominic from Winners. Basically what I'm going to talk about tonight is not so much about our products. You'll have a chance to try those. They're reasonably self-explanatory. I'll talk about them more in the context of a nutrition plan. So how to actually go about using, whether it's our products, Selwyn's products in the E3, any other products you're either currently using, tried in the past, or planning to use for the event. I know that our products are good, but they're not good for everyone. So I guess tonight is more an opportunity to talk about how these types of things might work for you on the day, with the knowledge that 23 days out from the event, not a whole lot of experimenting can be done. So a nutrition plan, the most important thing about a nutrition plan is having the plan, is actually in its existence. If you go into this event, you know, some of you will be riding for many numbers of hours. The body isn't going to have enough energy in it, despite how much you try and pour into it the night before, the days before. It's just not going to have enough. So you've got to be able to put something into it. Bikes in WA are going to provide you with lunch and snacks and bits and pieces, but if that's the basis of your nutrition plan, then I hope to see you at the end. It really isn't going to be enough, as much as how long you sit there and have a long lunch, a wrap and I think muffins and bananas. I'd be surprised if that's going to get you through. So I implore you to think about what you're going to do while you're riding to keep you going, because we don't want this to be an event you just scrape through, that you just make it to the end, that you then have 3 months off cycling because you really just hate your bike. We prefer that you get to the end at least a little bit strong and look forward to another event and challenging yourself in a different way. So the products we've got, we have energy gels, which I'll talk about in detail. Has anyone used energy gels before? Does anyone hate energy gels? With a passion? Exactly. So now they're different. But in essence, an energy gel really, you know, there's differences and there's similarities. So ours are multidextrin based. Viscosity is the main thing. People really struggle with ones that are very thick, and some people just really don't like the ones that are really watery. From the feedback we get from people is that ours kind of fit in the middle. I guess I encourage you to try ours. I think you'll definitely be provided with some on the race day. But the most important thing about your nutrition plan is that it's practiced in some facility. See what works for you, rather than doing what I say, what Selwyn tells you to do, what your buddy tells you to do, what the internet tells you to do. Go and trial it, because everybody's going to react differently. Some people don't like our products because it doesn't agree with them on some molecular level. And that's cool, we understand that. We're not the only company on the face of the earth. We provide an option for people. We try to keep, you know, as much preservative free as we can, and that agrees with a lot more people than preservatives do. So, the energy gels. For those people who really don't like energy gels, chances are when you have them, you've had them, you know, rip off the head, suck them down, and off you go and keep riding and hope for the best. Does that resonate with anyone? Am I hearing, like, am I preaching to the choir? So the reason that's such an ineffective way of using a gel is because of the way the body absorbs and digests carbohydrate, particularly a simple complex carbohydrate in liquid form like this. These are designed to give you a quick energy burst. They are designed to only last, you know, say an hour. You know, we're not trying to fuel you for the whole day on an energy gel. We're trying to give you something that's accessible. So to digest these safely without any issues in a stomach sense, you have to make sure you've got enough water present to digest it. So if you know about physiology, you know that to digest carbohydrates, you need water present in your stomach. If there's not enough water present, what the body's going to do is it's going to reabsorb water from muscles, organs, whatever it is, so it can get it in there and digest it, because it knows it needs it. It's going to sacrifice a little bit of performance to digest that, particularly at the end of the ride. And if you're already dehydrated in some sense, that's when things go bad. That's when it gets ugly. And that's what most people will probably have experienced in the past. So to use a gel, which is, it's a great tool, particularly at the end of the ride. Your bars, which you'll all get a chance to try later on. Your bars are great, but you're not going to be able to digest, these are oat based, you're not going to be able to digest the oats in half an hour. So if you're trying to take this in the last hour of the ride and try and use them as an energy source, you're just not going to be able to access the nutrients you need in a bar than you would in a gel, which you will be able to get to in that last hour of the ride and get you home, get you across the line. So if you're going to use these, the way I use them is I mix them into my drink bottle. So I'll take that, squeeze it into my drink bottle the night before, and shake it up, mix it ready to go. And then it's easily accessible. It's taken over an extended period of time rather than one big hit, which can have an impact. Not only that, it's not messy, it's neat. If anyone's ever ripped the head off this, sucked it down, folded it up, put it in their pocket, it goes everywhere. Let's not lie, it goes everywhere. And then you got to clean it out, and then you forget it, and it sits in your back pocket. If you forgot to clean it out, it goes through the washing machine. Anything can happen with it. It's messy. So if you mix it up in your drink bottle, 1, you're going to ensure that there's water available to digest it. 2, it's neat. And 3, you're going to take it over an extended period of time rather than one big hit, which is going to be easier on the body. We have 4 different flavors: espresso, tropical, lemon lime, and berry. Espresso has 80 milligrams of caffeine for those who are interested in the sort of caffeine influence on endurance. Some people aren't, which is cool. If you don't use caffeine or you don't have caffeine, you're not a coffee drinker, I wouldn't try 23 days out from the event to start upping your caffeine in a hope to get more endurance. Stick away from the caffeine for now, because coffee and caffeine is a diuretic, so that's going to dehydrate you even more if you're not used to it. So, that's the gels. Our bars, look, let me just go through the bar flavors because everyone knows how to eat a muesli bar, everyone knows what they're going to have. So we've got Cadell's Tour Edition, which is choc banana. We've got sticky date pudding. Unfortunately, there's only a few left, so if you really like dark chocolate, sea salt and nuts, come and grab the middle one. Some of the guys bought me out already. We've got Cadell's Mountain Mix, which is sort of a balanced fruit and nut. And we've got Appleberry Crumble, which is a more fruity, sweeter fruit and nut mix. Then, last but not least, we have our Energy Chews, which kind of look like lollies, but they're a little bit better for you. So again, they have the maltodextrin base, so they're not simple sugars, which your traditional raspberries and stuff like that are. So they're going to give you a better source of energy than would a raspberry. But because they look like lollies and they taste like lollies, not quite like lollies, but they taste similar to lollies, they're going to give you a psychological boost. And while you may think, the hell am I talking about? Come, those who've done it before, those who've done endurance events before, Ironman, stuff like that, you know that eventually you hate your bike. You hate it with a passion and you hate cycling, or you at least hate something, maybe your buddy. Like you really start to not like things. A couple of chews, just perk yourself up a little bit more. We want to get you through the event and wanting to do another event. Not through the event going, alright, I've done that, I'm not going to ride as much anymore. I don't want to do this. It's not fun anymore. That was too long. So a couple of these are versatile. So unlike your gels, which is one down or in the drink bottle every now and then, these are more of a pick-me-up. So they have a similar makeup to the gels, but obviously you only need to have one chew every now and then, whenever you want to. So it's more versatile and you can use it whenever you want. I have one of these in my bento bag, my top tube bag. I have one of these and I'll open them. That's a key part of your plan. You don't want to be fiddling around with packaging. Open them up, cut up your bars. Everyone knows that bars aren't easy, whether it's our bars, traditional muesli bars from the supermarket, whatever it is. When you're going 100 miles an hour, or up a hill, or you're just exhausted, chewing isn't the easiest thing in the world, let alone swallowing. So cut them up, divide them up, take small bites, stick them back somewhere. Just come up with a plan and sort of work out what's going to work best for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass to Selwyn, who'll talk about the E3 stuff, have a chance to sample my stuff later. I'm going to sell anything tonight. I didn't bring change, I've accumulated some, which is handy. Anything here is $2 for one thing, and $5 for 3 things. If you want a box of berries, because I've got heaps of them, you can have one of those which has 4 gels in it for $5. If you don't want to buy from me for some reason, you can get them online, winnersbars.com, or you can get them from Coles or Woolworths. But yeah, you'll have a chance to try it. I'll pass this to Selwyn to talk about his products.
Good evening all, my name's Selwyn. I'm the owner and inventor of E3, the Champion Formula. It's a local product, it's manufactured here in Perth, so we're very, very proud of that. So, now E3 stands for Endurance, Energy and Electrolytes. All critical things for the event that you're about to tackle. There's something that you need to keep in mind and be planned and working on a nutrition plan for the day. My confession tonight to you all is I'm not a cyclist, so I haven't got a clue what you're going to face on this 3 dams or 5 dams challenge that you're doing. I'm actually an ultra distance swimmer, and I've done an English Channel, Manhattan Island, those sorts of things. So, and where this formula comes from is I get seasick as a swimmer. So I got together with a friend of mine who's a food technologist, and we put together this formula so it would be gentle on the stomach, and it would give you hydration and nutrition that will keep you going for an endurance event. It took me 17 hours to swim the English Channel, so, and unlike you guys where you can ride along and have a quick drink, when you're in the English Channel, you get about 30 seconds to stop to have a drink, and you get your hydration and nutrition. If you stop longer than that, you get cold, and it's all over Red Rover. You get cold. So this product has electrolytes and proteins in it. It has a balance of 4 different sugars in there, and the idea is that those sugars are all going to absorb into your body at different rates. So what we're trying to do is keep a nice even keel of the energy going into your body. That energy is going to provide, is going to help your muscles, and it's going to absorb the whey protein isolate that we have in here. It's the best protein money can buy, and that's going to feed into your muscles. And what we're doing is that we're trying to keep a nice even keel so you don't dip into the lows that endurance athletes face, because once you get into those lows, it's very, very hard to climb back out. So if we can keep our body happy, and we keep our muscles happy, then what's going to happen is our head is happy, and the brain is where events like this are won or lost. As Dominic was saying, you'll hate cycling or whatever if you don't do it properly. A lot of athletes ignore proper nutrition. You guys are the engine of your bike. It's one thing having a big flash bike, but you guys are the engine. You are driving that bike, and you need to fuel your body properly. Before the event, we've got 23 days to go. Start fine-tuning what you're going to do, whether it be E3, whether it be the bars, the gels, perhaps a combination, work it out. That's, everyone's different, and that's what we need to be working on. But we've designed this product so it's very, very easy to drink, gentle on the stomach. There's one flavour and one flavour only, and we've made it as bland and as neutral as we can. It's a little bit like the VB of sports drinks. That's what we're trying to do. So it's not offensive to anyone. So anyway, we'll give you a taste, and you can just have a taste of the bars and that and see for yourself. We're doing a special tonight, $50 for a kilo. That will do approximately 16 of these drink bottles, so it probably works out, I think it's about $3.50 or something for a large drink bottle. The key to it, and again, like your gels in it, is experiment with it, mix it to your tastes. We recommend about 60 grams for one of these. That seems to be an average taste. Some people like it a little bit weaker, some people like it stronger. What is a real treat is after you've been for a long ride, and if you've got one of these at home and you mix it up before you go and you put it in the freezer, so it's like a slushy when you come back. It's absolutely amazing, and that's great for your recovery with the protein in there. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say. Is there any questions at all for both Dominic or myself? So,
can you put the gels in that?
no, we don't do gels. We just.
No, but them gels there, can you put them in there?
I wouldn't put them in this product. No. We talked about this earlier in the group. If you want to drink our E3, then you probably have a weakened down gel, what Dom explained to you, have something like that. But you need to work with it. You might also have a bit of water on there as well. So just so I think to keep it interesting, keep it broken up. Otherwise, you get very, very sick of stuff quickly if you're just doing one thing.
So can you put your gels, what do you put your gels in, just water then?
Yeah, for mine, yeah. So I'll have
Just plain water?
yeah, I'll have
So
a
with
drink
no
bottle.
like
So
electrolytes or
half of
anything
that.
in your drink?
No,
No,
about half of that. That'll do. You know, that'll be enough water for a gel to give it a nice taste
Yeah.
without seeming watered down. If, say, for example, you wanted to use the gel and the E3, then a gel in that will be, will give you enough water. And in an event or any event, you don't want to neglect just plain water. Like you can overdo the nutrition. Plain water is still an important part of your plan. So like if you've got 2 bottles and you've got one with the gel in it, say you put 2 gels in that to give it the right consistency, and then you've got one with E3 in it, you can overdo it. You can sort of ingest too much and give yourself cramps and stuff like that. So you've got to train with it. You might be a type of athlete that has a really fast metabolism and can get away with putting that much carbohydrate into your system, or even need that much carbohydrate just to keep going. Or you might be someone who will have 1 hour where you focus on E3 and 1 hour where you focus on gels and bars. So it's coming up with what's going to work for you, and it has to be a known thing rather than, oh gee, I hope this is going to work today. It's like, all right, I know in training, a couple of bars, a bar at the start, a bar after an hour, E3 constantly, sipping on it all the time, water every other sip. You've just got to know, okay, this is what works for me, rather than, okay, this should work for me, so I'm going to go and do it. The guy said put the gel in the water, so I'm going to put the gel in the water. Then you don't drink that gel for, you sort of take one gel over an hour and a half because you're not really vigorously going after getting the fuel in. You're sort of thinking more about a water basis. So.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I already use like an energy in my water, and I use the gels on their own.
Yep.
But I use them together.
That's cool.
Yep.
If it works for you, then if it works for you and you don't get any issues, that is the best measure of it. Is that it helps you to perform better. That's all we're trying to do, is help you to perform better.
I just
Or at
wonder
least
how your product goes with, like if you mix the two. I
It's
don't
worth-
have my gels in the water.
yeah, it's worth a try if you're that
I
type.
have the sticky fingers.
Exactly. All right, so come up and try. If you've got any questions, like feel free to ask us. I don't want you to run out of time and not get to try anything.
Thanks.